keep an eye out for inspiration around you. There are challenges around every corner, and challenges in your daily life and community often inspire the best research projects. My grandfather's struggle with Parkinson's disease is what inspired my project, and it really pushed me from start to present.
What kept me motivated was the fact that I was trying to solve a problem for my mom. My project was on detecting and treating ear infections. My mom always has ear infections, so it's kind of a constant reminder that I need to keep working on this to solve the problem.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jeremy Shore from TIES and the STEM Learning Ecosystem Community of Practice, and I'm part of the team organizing the 2025 National STEM Festival presented by EXPLR. We're thrilled to have you join us for a 3-part science fair masterclass series where you'll learn how to submit a project to the 2025 challenge. You could be awarded a trip to Washington, D.C. to present your project to STEM industry and government leaders and to the public. It's going to be an incredible week in March filled with fun, networking, meeting other young inventors and problem solvers, and lots of educational opportunities. Sritej is a 2024 National STEM champion, ISEF winner, BCM winner, 3M Top 10 finalist, founder and CEO of Youth Research Initiative, and founder and CEO of Industeel Tech. All of this, and he's only in 11th grade. Sritej blew us away last year with his project Neuralize, a novel computer vision tool for quantitative analysis and monitoring of Parkinson's disease markers, and is here to give you tricks on how to select your project and how to successfully convey your research. Sritej, what do you have for us today?
Thank you, Jeremy. Selecting a research project is one of the most important yet exciting parts of doing research, and I know how complex it might seem at first, so here are some of my best tips for picking the perfect project and conveying your research successfully. First of all, there is no perfect project, so let go of the idea of finding the perfect project and more focus on settling on an interesting idea. Projects will naturally evolve, and it's really rare to stick to one idea throughout the entire process. I would first suggest by identifying your main field of interest. For me, it was neuroscience in the brain. So you can learn more about what interests you through YouTube videos and also just general searching. And really take time to look through things in your life that genuinely excite you and that you enjoy doing. The next step is to hone in on a subfield within your main field. And I would recommend Wikipedia diving. And the way you can do this is by finding a Wikipedia page on your main topic and then just keep clicking through the hyperlinks until you find something that interests you and something that you gravitate towards. For me, the subfield was Parkinson's disease. And don't stress if this takes you time to do. It's an iterative process, and no matter what, you're learning a ton. The fourth step is actually selecting a research challenge and a question. A research project should address a specific challenge. And my favorite way to identify these is by reading research papers and just searching through the literature. Also, look for terms like lacking or difficult in the text, as those words often indicate a roadblock or potential for future exploration. The discussion sections of research papers are also great for identifying areas needing improvement. And you can also email professionals in the field and just ask about the challenges that they face, as these challenges often signify areas for future research. In my case, I cold emailed hundreds of professors and doctors to give me advice on my tool and idea, and also email as many as possible, and don't get discouraged if you don't get an immediate response. The trick to getting positive responses is just increasing the number of emails that are sent. And think about something that would be useful in the real world, whether it's a product to build or a specific question you want to answer. If I could emphasize one thing on selecting a research challenge, it's to start small. I cannot tell you how many times in my own project the idea has evolved and the concepts have changed over time. And I would not have been able to predict the outcome from the beginning, so don't pressure yourself to have it all figured out. Try and take small steps, and they will play into a much bigger picture that no one can perfectly predict from the beginning. So now that you have a project idea, it's time to create a project rationale. And this is a really important step as it helps you to organize the project idea and research topic. It'll also let you have something concrete down so you can start and build on it. I remember realizing so many more questions in my project when I wrote it down, and this also helped me organize my thoughts on the tool I was making and what already existed. The rationale should include your research question, your hypothesis, and why you chose the area. Also, really spend time trying to assess the project's feasibility and the resources that are needed. The main factors that go into feasibility are time, money, equipment, and knowledge, and in my case, I needed to contact some professionals to get advice on current tremor scales. Now that you have a written idea and rationale, show it to someone and get their input. This could involve emailing professors, showing your parents, a science teacher, or maybe someone else. And this step is key in refining your idea and making sure that you didn't actually forget anything. I know that my mentors and my parents have caught countless mistakes of mine, and it certainly eased the process a lot, so do not be afraid to reach out for help. Now, creating a research project is just one part, but communicating your work clearly and effectively is just as important. For science fairs and for the National STEM Challenge, you need to create a video and communicate with judges as well as many other audiences. And so my best advice for this is to be confident and to tell a story. The most engaging projects to listeners come from speakers who tell their research journey and just take the listener through it. Share what sparked your interest and how did this push you throughout your entire process. Learn until you feel confident and just remember that you did your research and you're the expert on it.
And I hope all of you at home were taking notes. Now, Sritej, I hear your amazing nonprofit YRI is partnered with the National STEM Festival this year. Can you talk to us a little bit about the work that you do and let the viewers know where they can get more information?
Yeah. So the Youth Research Initiative is a nonprofit dedicated to improving youth research access and education around the world. And we actually have three main projects for this. The first is Project Inspire, where we run webinars and try to improve youth research advocacy. The second project is Project Pathways, where we deploy research tools to help simplify the research process and really improve guidance. An example of one of these tools that we built recently was a research coach AI-powered tool to help new researchers. Our tools have over 30,000 users right now, and it's really exciting to see that grow. And our third and final project is Project Empower, where we try to improve research education, quality mentorship. And most recently, we built over 400 pages of research guides and are mentoring over 40 low-income kids across the world. And so the Youth Research Initiative just wants to make research more accessible to all sorts of demographics. We want to improve research education, and we want more kids to have an experience that's changed so many people's lives. And if you want to get involved, you can check out the Youth Research Initiative website and then click on the Join section, and you can find a ton of information on how to immediately get involved.
We have another 2024 champion alumni joining us shortly, but first, let's hear from Broadcom Foundation's Paula Golden, one of this year's co-presenting sponsors of the festival.
This year, if you're going to take on a science project, you want to make sure you take a deep dive into science or engineering. I always refer to science and engineering as the why and the how. Science is why is something the way it is, and oftentimes engineering is how do I solve the problem. Now, doing research can be tricky. Sometimes it requires you to take time to really research online, but also go to books, talk to your teachers, gather information from mentors, talk to people in your community, and make sure you collect data. So when you make your project successful, you can back that up with surefire data that shows you were right about why something happened or how to make something. And then be prepared to present that at this National STEM Festival, where if you are there as a champion, you'll be able to join us at the Broadcom Foundation Ice Cream Social. Good luck.
Thanks, Paula. I have another special guest for you all. Leanne is a 2024 National STEM champion, Regeneron ISEF Grand Award winner, America's top young scientist, and an Aspen Ideas Health speaker. Leanne stood out and became a champion for her project, Finson headphones detecting and treating middle ear infections using acoustic reflectometry and phototherapy. Leanne, I don't even know if I said all of that right, but it was a really, really impressive project. Leanne's going to speak on her experience at the National STEM Festival and give you some tips and tricks for making your research shine. Leanne?
Okay, thank you so much, Jeremy. So I can confidently say that the time I spent at the National STEM Festival were the best few days of my entire year. So first, something that's super valuable about the festival is the fact that you get to meet 200 other very passionate young scientists and also learn about their research. So this was really able to expose me to different sectors of science, including space and environmental science. And actually this year I started a new project, and while continuing my other one, that was about space. So this was able to inspire me to do that as well. And just being able to observe how hardworking and passionate everyone is was extremely inspiring. In particular, I met a group of people at the festival and I got super close with them. So we shared research advice with each other and we explored DC together. And we even ended up staying up until like 4 a.m. in the morning to play cards until they had to fly back home. So we really loved hanging out with each other. And I feel like I've never resonated with a group of people that much before. So to this day, we still actively chat online and talk about how our research is going. So that's something I really value. To make your research shine, I really just suggest you focus on a topic that you enjoy. So it's really difficult to work hard on a project and give it your 100% if you aren't super passionate about that particular topic. So definitely try to take your time to find a subject that really intrigues you, and always ask yourself, what area of STEM are you interested in, what questions do you want to answer, and what questions puzzle you. It's also really important to follow the scientific or engineering method very carefully. So for example, you want to make sure you're collecting data in an optimal way and not forgetting to perform your statistical analysis. Also, make sure to follow your procedures really well and fill in any gaps or doubts that you may have in your project. You can also consult your mentor and ask them about what you can improve about your project. Or if you don't have a mentor like me, you can always try to email professionals in your field. And based on my experience, most people are really happy to help. Finally, I think it's really important to emphasize the impact that your project has in the world. So this doesn't have to be a massive impact, but you should definitely be clear about the importance of your project. And finally, trust me, if you really love your research, your passion will really shine through.
You had some really great advice there. One of my favorites is, we hear a lot from professionals that they would love to mentor kids, to help them with their projects, but they don't know how to reach them. So if you ask them, as Leanne mentioned, people love to help. So never be afraid to go out and ask for help. You might have to ask 2 or 3 times, but you're going to find somebody in the field who's willing to give you some insights and some support. So Leanne, sometimes research can feel a little bit tedious. Do you have any advice for young people who feel intimidated by the amount of research needed to produce a winning project? What kept you motivated through those struggles?
Yeah, so what kept me motivated was the fact that I was trying to solve a problem for my mom. My project was on detecting and treating ear infections. My mom always has ear infections, so it's kind of a constant reminder that I need to keep working on this to solve the problem. To keep things from being tedious and to keep pushing through the struggles, I try to keep myself updated with recent scientific news because that really inspires me, and I love hearing the stories of other people solving these huge problems. So to get inspiration, I like reading websites such as New Atlas or magazines like Scientific American, and I think that's really helpful to get me through the difficult times because I can see the other researchers and how they overcame their problems, and I can be inspired by them and overcome my problems as well.